All right, y'all, we are live on this beautiful, what day is today? Is it a Friday? It's a Friday. We are live on this beautiful Friday. God bless everybody in Jesus' name. Even if you're not religious, I pray you and your family are super blessed as the Bitcoin price right now, guys, is pumping to a new all-time high. Oh, man, I've been up all night sipping on the dang coffee. But you know what? It's all good because I'm sipping it from my Market Cipher mug. Man, what a cool product placement that is. MarketCipherTrading.com. Just take a random sip. It's like Pepsi and Coke in the 80s, guys. Man, congratulations to all us Bitcoin hodlers, man. Feels good. It does feel good to see Bitcoin at this price, man. This is going to be a little bit of a celebration stream, but we're going to be breaking down the analysis. Breaking it down for you guys to talk about what happens next, because in my opinion, this is just the beginning, and I'm not just saying that to be sensational. I really mean that. The fact that Bitcoin has broken out of this range, this is the beginning of the big parabolic bull run that is going to go on for the next 6 months. All right, we are going to be making some serious gains, in my opinion. All right, we're going to be making some serious gains. Do you know why? Because we're curling in the squat rack, baby. We're doing those curls in the squat rack. The real power lifters are in there waiting, asking if they can work in. And we say, no, you can't work in. I still have 20 sets of arms left. And drop sets. Put the 45s on each side, curl until failure. Drop it to the 25s till failure. The 10s till failure. Just the bar till failure. All right, 20 more sets of those, babies. And also, we're going to be making these Bitcoin gains because now that Bitcoin has broken out of the range and has pumped up to a new all-time high, we are seeing the most bullish-looking altcoin charts ever in history. Like, again, I'm not trying to be overly sensational here, but when we objectively look at some of these altcoin charts, they are looking insanely bullish, and given the context of the whole market of Bitcoin making a new high, I think we can see some insane pumps on altcoins that people have been sleeping, just so bored. We're going to see some crazy gains, man. We are in the juiciest profits, guys, right now on these Bitcoin long trades. We are currently up tens of thousands of dollars on these long trades from the setups that were given in advance in the Casper Crew VIP Discord at jasonstratham.com. From 100,000, from 105,000. We even gave the long setup from 85,000 in the Casper Crew VIP Discord, baby. All right, we got to give a major shout out also to WEEX. WEEX right now giving you $100 just to sign up. 0% limit order, 0.02% market order, 20% deposit bonus. That's actually a really, really great deal. We also got to shout out ANTARCTIC Exchange, decentralized exchange, changing the name of the game. If you trade on the exchange, you own the exchange, and you benefit from other people trading on it because you own it. You get liquidation fees and all that stuff, man. It's good, good, good stuff. We also got to shout out Klein Funding. If you know how to trade but you need money, Klein Funding runs on the Bybit network platform as the interface. You don't even have to pass a test to get an Instant Pro account. There's a 15% discount in the description. Also, if you do want to pass a test, there's a 25% discount. You can pay $70 for a $6,000 account with a 100% profit reward split. And there's a 25% discount on this $70. So for very cheap, you can have a funded thousands of dollar account. Check out the links in the description of this video. Now, we got to give a major shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to HFG. You're not eligible for some reason. I'm sorry to hear that, bro. Hopefully you still get the fees, though, right? Shout out to Joe Potter, man. Joe Potter in the house. Long and strong, baby. My man Joe Potter holding it down. Maintaining the bullishness throughout the bearishness. Is the music too loud? Sorry. Let's lower the music a little bit there. We got some old school Dr. Dre sound and beats going on in the back, all right? Shout out to Fred Sloan. He says, do chin-ups to get guns like Sergio Olivia. No, just curls in the squat rack. Shout out to Gen X Crypto. Shout out to Remy, 60 minutes, 800-pound squat set. Shout out to I Show You, curling in a quad machine. Who even needs legs? You're right, bro. Who even needs legs? Shout out to Joe Potter. Shout out to the Enigmatis, hey Jay, a little more volume on the music, please. You want more volume on the music? Some people want it lower, some people want it higher, man. Look, you can't please everybody, all right? Some people want me to cut the hair, some people want me to keep growing it out. You can't please everybody. Shout out to David Brumblebone. Shout out to Silosis version 2. Shout out to Hassan Khan. And shout out to Crypto Coons, man. Holding it down with the wrench. God bless you, Crypto Coons. Shout out to Sam. He says, mic check. Mic check, mic check. Check 1, check 2. Guys, how's the mic? How's Mike? Mike looks good. All right, I think the audio's good, baby. Have I sold more spot Bitcoin? Not yet. Not yet. I have not sold any more yet. 120, probably 119.5. We're getting close to me selling some spot Bitcoin. All right. Shout out to Mr. K. Shout out to Monero Pero. Shout out to Monero. And shout out to Monish Jane. Mark my words, sideways for 4 to 5 days. Of course, Moonish Jane. Of course. Look, we're going to form a new range here. Shout out to Jackson Draws. Dump happens when everyone is bullish. The most fun thing to watch. LMAO. LMAO, LMAO, LMAO. Ah, yes, so my sandwich needs more LMAO on it. Can you give me some more LMAO? Shout out to the super chat in the house, Felipe. He says, it's only the beginning, guys. That's true. It's only the beginning. It is only the beginning. Now, look. We're gonna be breaking down these charts, okay? We're gonna be breaking down these charts. But as I said, if we can get 1,000 likes going in here without a bot, all right? If you guys bought my stream, we're not doing a giveaway. Mark my words. If you bought the stream, no giveaway. But if we can get an honest 1,000 likes during this stream, we'll do a 0.01 Bitcoin giveaway. All right? So that means we got to get a few more viewers up in here, and everyone has to smash the likes. Now, again, if you bought the stream, and we end up with like 1,700 likes with 900 people, first of all, that's really bad for the YouTube algorithm. And it hurts my channel, so don't do it. All right? But second of all, we won't do a giveaway. Shout out to McCall too. Oh, Jason, shout me out. Yes. Shout out to Crypto Hub. Shout out to Perit. You're waiting for my live stream. Well, here we are. You thought this was the end of what? Bitcoin? Maybe 2 days ago when we had one red candle. But here's the thing. Us crypto YouTubers, what we do is our titles and our bias is based purely on the one candle that's printed in the past, right? So we look to the left, one candle. Is it blue? Bullish, this is just the beginning. Is it red? Bearish, this is the end. I learned this from my good friend Carl from the Moon. That one time we went to McDonald's together and bought a Big Mac meal. In fact, we filmed a movie which is coming out very soon.
Hello, I would like to get a Big Mac meal.
So don't sleep on that movie coming out very soon, guys. I'm telling you, we are excited. We are excited for this Bitcoin price action, man. Oh man, and ETH and Sol and XRP. Oh my goodness, the gains that are going to be made, guys. The gains that are going to be made. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. You know, it's so funny. 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 Everyone's bias and this and that and emotions and this and that. I'm literally just going to be breaking down the charts. All right. So let's take a look at the Bitcoin chart. Then we're going to take a look at ETH. We're going to take a look at some other assets as well. But let's talk about Bitcoin first, because Bitcoin is driving the train. Now remember, I just want to preface all of this by saying the breakout of this range, in my opinion, for Bitcoin is what's going to produce a real altcoin season for us. All right? Because this is the trend that we've been in since the beginning of the bull market back in basically November 2022. And every time we break out of a range, right, we have a very, like, this is a real breakout. Whenever we get the breakout of the range, what do? Well, we get a big pump, and then we start to form another range. All right, well, right now, we are breaking out of the range. This is a very convincing daily close. All right, look at this daily candle. This is exactly what we want to see. The weekly time frame, this weekly candle is exactly what we want to see. The previous range breakouts, the weekly candle, there's no question whether or not we are breaking out, right? There's no question. So right now, this weekly candle is closing above $113,000. This is a clearly confirmed breakout. Now, not only are we seeing the weekly candle look like this, but everything, in my opinion, is pointing to the fact that this is a legit breakout, and we can expect maybe a little bit higher for Bitcoin even very soon within the next few days. But then we can expect altcoins to really start to take the show. We're going to be breaking down the metrics, but look at just the perfect confluence here of coming down to the trend line of support. This is the bull market support, and we are printing a historic signal on market Cipher B. All right, as the price was in this uptrend, making higher highs and higher lows, we saw that market Cipher B was giving us a continuation signal, which is basically the uneven butt cheek pattern. All right, when you have a skinny right butt cheek and then a big juicy left butt cheek, this is known as a hidden bullish divergence. Here we go, a skinny right butt cheek, skinny left butt cheek, a skinny left butt cheek, a big right butt cheek, hidden bullish divergence right at support. And when we got down to like our 4-day time frames, right, as we were printing that hidden bullish divergence here, the lower time frames were giving us a regular bullish divergence where the butt cheeks are switched. All right, so we had literally every time frame screaming that this was a major low, which is why you need to subscribe to Jason Gasper's YouTube channel, because back in April, we made a video talking about the historic signal, talking about why this was such an important level, right? The last video I actually made, the last TA video I made before the free course. By the way, guys, go check out my free course on YouTube, all right? 18 videos, a free course. I'm literally walking you through exactly how I trade. I'm not holding anything back. But the last video I made before that, historic signal confirmed. We were looking at that weekly time frame saying this is confirmed, this is crazy. And we were expecting that big move up to make new all-time highs, right? We were looking for that big move up to make new all-time highs because of this historic signal. We're saying, look, we're bouncing from the trend line. We had all these bullish signals. We can now expect the new all-time highs to come in. All right? And so that's basically what's happened right now. And when we look and we come in, we zoom in more locally, we are seeing many other signs of strength here. Let's remove all these drawings for a second and let's just look at this. This is a beautiful, beautiful thing that we are seeing right here. You see this blue line. This is called the value area high. Basically, what a value area high is, guys. A value area high is telling us that historically, the market has considered Bitcoin to be overvalued at this area. The fact that we came up to this area, got a retracement, a back test, and now we're breaking out. This is showing us the market absolutely wants to trade Bitcoin at higher prices. And when we look even just at how this happened, and you see that we came down to a major support before this big break, right? This Fibonacci golden pocket right here. It's just perfect, a perfect uptrend confluence, right? And that's why in the Casper crew, we gave the long setup from that key level, that $100,000 level. It's one of our trade setups that we gave in the Casper crew, and we took in the Casper crew from 100,000 because it was such a key level of support. There's like, this is the make it or break it level. In fact, I'm pretty sure that the thing I posted before I said I'm long was it's either now or never. It's either now or never. So look, you got to go for it. And the reason why it looks like this, because I took the trade from my phone in the ocean. I was in the ocean with my kids. Thankfully, I was only knee height, so I could still enter the trade. But I'll tell you, it was hard to type because my fingers were wet with the salt water and all this. But yeah. Now, as we are holding above with this very juicy weekly candle, it's looking pretty dang good. What else do we see here? What else do we see? Well, we're now in price discovery mode. And when we look at the weekly time frame, look at the money flow getting thicker. Still more upside on the weekly, in my opinion. The 2-day, look at how nice the 2-day looks. Let's just do a little experiment here and look at what happens when we see the 2-day money flow crossing the 0 line on Market Cipher B. Market Cipher B is literally the best indicator on TradingView. I'm telling you, man. This money flow on Market Cipher B, haters gonna hate. It's literally tells the future. All right, it tells the future. Look at these money flow crosses here on the 2-day time frame. All right, let's see. Purple into the blue. All right, now let's turn off Market Cipher B and let's just look at what these 2-day money flow crosses mean. All right, look at this. Wow, they're rare, but we get one at the bottom of the bear market. We get one right over here in the fall of 2023. We get one right here, October 2024. Now we have another one right here in July 2025. You guys see a little bit of a pattern here with these 2-day money flow crosses? This is a powerful signal, all right? Now, I'm going to be totally honest with you guys and say this. I don't know how high Bitcoin's going to go, but the fact that we are breaking out in the summer is a pattern changer, because the last few summers, we had our summer range and we didn't break out until the fall. In fact, what we saw was it was not until the fall that we actually got our big move, and the summer was giving us sideways and down bearishness. This is a break of the pattern here, okay? And understanding that we still have a few more months until we can expect our all-time high, this gives us actually more time to hit higher prices than if we had ranged for the rest of July and August, and then we get our August low like usual, and then hit our all-time high, right? This gives us more time to continue to range and come higher. So this is very, very interesting. We're breaking the pattern. And based on our halving cycle, and I know a lot of people say the halving cycle doesn't matter anymore, but I'm still going with it until we can say for sure that the pattern is broken. But here's our halving back in the beginning of April 2024. About 500 days after that halving, every single time, that's when the high is in. Okay, so that's going to put us mid-September. All right, mid-September. I would say we have a zone between September and November where we can expect that all-time high to be in for Bitcoin. When I say all-time high, I mean the cycle top before we start a bear market. All right, so we have more time now than we did before, having broken out already. And this is really exciting to me because, look, I'm totally honest with you guys. I sold Bitcoin, all right? Look, we're about to get a lot of hate in the chat for this. I sold Bitcoin at $60,000. I sold my spot Bitcoin here. I sold spot Bitcoin at $80,000. I sold spot Bitcoin at $100,000, and I'm planning to sell spot Bitcoin at $120,000. All right? I'm going to get hate for this. Keep in mind, guys, I was buying extremely irresponsibly in this area, under 20K. I put like irresponsible amounts of money into Bitcoin. And so for me, you know, I'm not upset that I took irresponsible amounts of money and made 200, 350, 450 and looking to make 500%. I'm not upset. I know the altcoin degens out there are like, only 500%? What's wrong with you? Look, I've been in Bitcoin since 2016. There's no need for me to get greedy here. All right, like I said, when you're putting irresponsible amounts of money into an asset here, you're taking profits at 200%. Trust me, okay? And also, just to be clear, there's a certain amount of Bitcoin that I will never sell no matter what. My forever hodl stack, which I will never sell it. But I bought Bitcoin with the purpose of selling in the bull run. Now, here we are in the bull run. We understand we have 5-6 months left. And so, yeah, I'm going to be taking some profits. But what are some targets that we could see here? Well, we're coming real close to 120. That's a very key psychological level. And then, of course, 150K. That's the next big psychological level. And then, of course, the 200,000. That's the next big psychological level. Are we going to hit those? look, anything's possible, guys, but I'm of the mindset that I'm looking right now at the history of this, okay? And let's just be realistic with ourselves. Every time we get a big breakout, the euphoria is a little bit there, but then for the next few months, it's slowly crushed until nobody cares about crypto anymore. Then we get the big break. Everyone's euphoric, expecting much higher prices until the next few months when it's ranging and nobody cares about crypto anymore. So now we're going to break out, okay? I don't know how much higher Bitcoin can go. I will be happy with whatever Bitcoin gives us. What I'm most excited about right now are altcoins. And I'll tell you why. We are seeing the perfect storm right now for altcoins to give us crazy returns for the next few months. And I myself am a big hodler of altcoins. But when we take a look at the altcoin season index here, all right, let's take a look at the altcoin season index. You can see that we are primed right now for an altcoin season. All right, this is the altcoin season index. When we're down here in Bitcoin season, this is when you want to be stacking altcoins, because it means we're about to see money flow from Bitcoin into altcoins and give us a nice altcoin pump. All right, so this is the first metric that I'm looking at here in order to say, you know what? Yeah, we got our gains on Bitcoin. We're up tens of thousands of dollars from the long setups that we gave in the Casper Crew VIP Discord at jasoncaspertrading.com. Setups given in advance. All right, you know. But now it's time for some other assets to shine. Because the fact that Bitcoin now has formed a new high, even if we start to range and go sideways, when we look at some of these altcoin charts, they are looking crazy. Let's start with ETH, okay? I've been talking about ETH for a while now, and I'm very excited about ETH, all right? I'm very excited about ETH. This is my second biggest holding, second to Bitcoin. Let's take a look at ETH, all right? Now remember, the context is Bitcoin has just broken out of a summer range, making a new all-time high. Okay, so we are in a bull market. Bitcoin's making higher highs, higher lows. Very strong looking chart. ETH, the number 2 market cap coin, period, came down while Bitcoin was at an all-time high. It came down to bear market prices. We saw ETH come down to a price that it was in the fall of 2022. The height of the bear market, ETH dips down into that level, right? This is the monthly chart. Last month, June 2025, ETH has confirmed a green dot on the monthly market Cipher B. This has never happened before, ever. Usually, in past bull markets, ETH and Bitcoin pump together, all right? When you see momentum coming underneath the zero line on a monthly chart like we do here for ETH, this means when we start to move, we have a lot of room to pump to the upside. A lot. It's not like the green dot we got back here in November 2024 when Trump won the election. That green dot was above the zero line, and we didn't have much upside really to go. But now momentum has cooled off. Not only has momentum cooled off, but we are in oversold territory. Okay? We are in oversold territory. So just think of the environment right now. Bitcoin in a strong uptrend, cryptocurrency bull market. Altcoin season is coming very soon based on the index. And we are seeing a very bullish sign on the monthly time frame. We go to the weekly. We have just seen a money flow cross on the weekly market Cipher B. Look at this. Not only do we see a weekly money flow cross, but we are seeing the RSIs touching together on market Cipher B. This is one of the most bullish signals you could possibly imagine. And look, I am not trying to be sensational. I'm being 100% serious, okay? I fully am convinced, and I'm putting my money, okay, on the line here because I am heavily invested in ETH. All right, this is not a sensational joke. If you follow my channel, you know I maintain a very neutral bias most of the time. But this right here is something we have never seen. A weekly money flow cross and a monthly green dot while ETH is not even near all-time highs. all right, after coming down to bear market support. When we look at the weekly money flow crosses on Ethereum, we'll go to Coinbase, or let's go to Bitstamp. I think that might give us more data here. These things are no joke. They're very rare. They're very, very rare. All right. We only have 2 others in history. All right. Both times they've led to insane pumps, right? They both led to insane pumps. Now remember, this one happened in the middle of a bear market. This was in the winter of 2019. All right. So even in the middle of the bear market, the weekly money flow crosses, and immediately we get a 150% pump. Then we, of course, the VidCo 91 gives us a double bottom. But let's say VidCo 91 never happened. We could smooth this out here and say, wow, that money flow cross was the beginning of the big run up to the all-time high. All right. Then we don't have a money flow cross again until 2023, the end of the bear market. Once we finally start trending upwards again, entering into Bitcoin's bull market, we don't even have that again until the bull market. And when this happens, yeah, it's a lackluster pump, but it still gives 150%. Now we're still in a bull market. Bitcoin is still showing signs of strength, and we're seeing another money flow cross on the weekly with a green dot below the 0 line on the monthly. I'm excited for this. I'll be honest with you, because now that we have seen ETH come above $2,700, remember, $2,700, guys, are very key support resistance flip, and I've been saying it literally since we lost 2,700. I've been saying this since February, so this has been a slow bull run. But I've been saying since February, once we reclaim 2,700, we are going to get rocket shipped up to 4,000. The reason for that is because we have to, actually, I should look at this on the Bybit chart and not the Bitstamp, because there's not enough volume on Bitstamp. On the Bybit chart, our $4,000 level is going to be our value area high. All right, where historically this is where Ethereum is considered overpriced. But because of all these bullish factors now, I believe we are finally going to see a real breakout of this trend line, and then we're going to hit our Fibonacci targets on ETH. 5,500 is our next big Fibonacci extension target. Now, I don't have the Fibonacci extension drawn on this chart, but let me see if I could draw it here. I might not remember where I have pulled it from on my master TA chart. Let's see here. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so look at this. There's 2 levels I'm looking at. First of all, our 1-to-1 Fibonacci extension, where we get an equally bullish move this time as we did last cycle. That's going to take us right to 5,500. And then our 1.618 Fibonacci extension coming into 8,400. All right, so say around 8,500. And then a moonshot target this cycle, which I know a lot of people are talking about, is our 2-to-1 Fibonacci at 10,200. Do I believe ETH can hit 10 grand? Yes. Yes, I do. But I'm just going to be frank with y'all and tell you that when it comes to my own swing trading or position trading, spot trading, should I say, I am very conservative with it. I would rather expect less and then be happy with more than expect more and be sad when I don't take profit because my level doesn't get hit, and then I have to hold it all the way down through the next bear market, okay? This is my mentality. I'm here to make money, all right? I'm here to make money. And you got to really think that if you have an opportunity to make a lot of money, you better take that dang opportunity. Don't get greedy. Here's a beautiful thing about trading and investing. You don't have to take the whole position out. I mean, I don't know why people don't get this, but in every single trade you guys have seen me take, leverage and all that, I'm always taking partials, all right? Like, for example, the long trade from the Casper crew, okay, from 105. I took a partial. The worst case scenario right now, I made 12K, 13K. Like, literally, the worst that could happen right now is I make $12,000. Can you imagine you walk up to someone in this street, you say, hey, man, like, I have an investment for you, but I have to warn you, like, worst case scenario, you'll make 12 grand. You know, best case scenario, you could make 50 grand, you know, whatever, but worst case, 12 grand. And can you imagine if that person scoffs and says, ugh, 12 grand, ugh, I would never take that. It's called scaling out, guys. Scaling out of a position. It's the responsible way to do it. And the reality is, and a lot of people aren't going to tell you this, all right? A lot of people will not tell you this on YouTube because YouTube really is all about sensationalism. But when we're in crypto, we are literally here to make money. The truth is, a bull market big pump is for selling. It's for selling. It's not for buying. Okay? If you're here and you're new to crypto and you're feeling the FOMO, this is not financial advice, what I'm about to say. But I would wait until the next cycle. And it's going to be hard to do that because everywhere you look, people are going to say, there is no bear market. There's not going to be a bear market. It's just too much institutional money and BlackRock and the altcoin ETFs are coming and all this and that. When people start to say there's going to be no bear market, that is when you start to expect bear market. For the past 12 years since Bitcoin's been a thing, there has always been a bear market about 500 days after the halving. And it affects the entire crypto market. Could this time be different? It could, okay? Anything's possible. But what's the most basic thing that every old, white, fat uncle knows about investing? Buy low and sell high, right? With his mustache. Yeah, man, investing is easy. I got into the stock market years ago. All you got to do is buy low and sell high. Well, this is high, guys, all right? I'm just being real. So I want to caution people. Because, look, if altcoins really start ripping, the FOMO is going to come in. The reality is, I hate to say this because I know it's going to turn people away from the channel, but it is what it is. If you haven't been stacking during the bear market and potentially even when we got these really good opportunities here during Bitcoin bull market, be careful. That's all I'm going to say. Be careful. I'm not going to say you can't make money because, to be honest, I'm expecting ETH to potentially come up another, 150 to 250%. All right? But just be careful. That's all I'm going to say. All right? When you're dealing with markets, you want to put yourself in the most advantageous situation possible. All right? It's very easy to fall into a gambling mindset. Just be careful. All right? ETH is looking really bullish. I have to say it. And these are my sell targets for ETH, 5.5 and 8.5. I'm actually going to sell most of my ETH by the time we reach to 8.5. And if we go to 20K, I will be satisfied. I will be satisfied. I will be satisfied. For me, let's see. I got most of my ETH in the fall of 2022. So let's say my average entries are just a little over $1,000. I'll be satisfied with a 600% gain, okay? And if we keep pumping and everyone says I'm an idiot for it, okay, great. How much did you make on it? Okay, that's good for you. This is good for me. You know what I'm saying? Let's take a look at Sol, okay? Sol is another asset, Ethereum's rival, which in my opinion is also looking extremely bullish. It's the weekly chart. Let's go to the monthly chart. We don't have enough data for a monthly chart. We're going to go to the 2-week here. Okay, so here's the deal with Sol. It looks extremely bullish given everything we just went over. Bitcoin has broken the range. Bitcoin's making a new high. Altcoin season index is coming. All right, we know that the next few months we can expect that huge run up in the crypto markets in general, and that's where we expected euphoria to come in and everyone feels great, right? We have seen on Sol a base of support that has been formed here since 2022. Right? Look at this key level going all the way back to 2022. It was our resistance first, then consolidation, breakout, then we form a base here, and then we come and sneak and take all that liquidity, right? Everybody who's long here is now wrecked, and then we got to move back into the range, okay? We got to move back into the range. We see ourselves make a high, and we see ourselves make a higher low. The higher low comes right in at the Fibonacci golden pocket. Beautiful support. We are seeing the money flow on the 2-week getting higher right here. We are seeing the momentum on the 2-week getting higher right here. We are seeing like bullish divergence on our yellow oscillator as we make that low. This looks very strong, and we could expect a breakout of this range right now. And in fact, in my opinion, and this is not financial advice, but right now on Sol, we have ourselves a 2-to-1 risk reward setup right here, okay? 2-to-1, meaning, here's what that means. It means if we come to the all-time highs, there's 2 times more reward than potential downside here. There's 2 times more upside than downside here. Do I believe we're going to come to the all-time high and reject? No. I think we could see 350, potentially maybe even close to a $500 Sol, all right? I really think that. I think it's possible. But if I was going to be getting into a position here, I'd be shooting first for that 86% gain, you know? And let's just take a conservative approach here, okay? If we take a conservative approach, we have ourselves a really responsible spot play right here, because we're seeing very many signs of strength across all the markets. We know that there's 2 times more upside than downside. So if we shoot for a $324 Solana, we would have made 100% on our investment. So you put $100 in, now you come up just a little bit higher than the all-time high, you're up $200. You just doubled your investment. Now you can take out your initial investment here. Now it's a risk-free trade. There's nothing you could possibly lose on it, right? A conservative entry, you take out half the trade, you made 100%, take out your $100, right? Take out your $100, now you've got your original investment in the trade, and now if it keeps pumping, now you're just making money as if, you know, you have a risk-free trade. All right? It's a pretty good setup. It's not as good as some others. Like, for example, you know, we take a look at ETH, and every day it becomes less and less, honestly. Man, but we were talking about this. If you guys remember how long we've been talking about buying ETH at, you know, $2,000 and all that. But even now, let's check out ETH just to hit our all-time highs. If you're going to be looking at the last low we made here on June 9th, it's a 2-to-1 risk reward. It's not worth it anymore to enter ETH here and shoot for an all-time high for a take profit 1. If we're going to hit $5,500, it's still not really worth it. It's not really until we hit our next big target at 8,500 that it becomes worth it to get into ETH here. What I'm trying to show you is that there's 3 times more upside than downside. And when you're looking for investments or things to buy, you always want to look for the things that have way more upside potential than downside potential. That's why a few weeks ago, we're saying, man, look at this. ETH has like 7 times more upside than downside. And even if we just hit our all-time high, it has 3 times more upside than downside. But the more things pump, the less upside and the more downside there is, right? Sol right now, looking pretty good, assuming that this is our base of support, and it looks really good. It does look really good, all right? Looks like we get a pump. Let's take out XRP, because XRP, in my opinion, guys, is looking extremely strong right now, okay? It's looking really good. Shout out to all the XRP holders in here, because I know there's a lot of y'all, all right? I know that there's a lot of y'all XRP holders up in here. Okay, but here's the deal with the XRP. We have, oh man, we are printing some insanely bullish signals here. First of all, look at the monthly, the yellow line about to curve up over the 0. Look at the 2-week, the green dot printing, very strong looking. Look at the weekly. The weekly XRP chart, this is what really gets me giddy as a schoolgirl. We are seeing, as we made this low right here, we are seeing an insanely hidden bullish divergence. Okay, a hidden bullish divergence, again, is where the momentum wave on the left is really skinny and momentum wave on the right is really fat, as the price is making a higher low in an uptrend. And this is obviously an uptrend, right? This is a higher high, and this is a higher low from our last low down here, right? See, higher high, higher low, the momentum waves are getting lower. Not only are we seeing the hidden bull div, but we are seeing a weekly money flow cross happen while we get that bull div. All right. Now, we are seeing another bullish divergence right here, all right? Again, remember, you're making a higher low in an uptrend. So we have our low, we have our high, we have our higher low. As we're making the higher low, who's here again? Our good friend from the club, Ms. Uneven Cheekaroonies, all right? We take the cheeks, we paste them onto the chart, what do we see? We see, wow, the uneven backwards butt cheek pattern right there. Now, we have officially, not only are we seeing this bullish divergence, but when we look at the market structure, what else are we seeing? We are seeing that we are back testing key Fibonacci support. All right, let's clean up the chart a little bit here. All right, look at this. We made our low, we made our high into the value area high, back tested the 618 Fibonacci. We've reclaimed the point of control of the range, and we're coming back to the value area high. This is a very healthy, bullish looking move. Once we reclaim this exact level, $2.65, we're coming for the highs at $3.40. In fact, right here, I would say that if we happen to get a breakout like this and a back test, this level right here could act as a pivot point for us to get into like a leverage long, if you're into that, right? Because whenever you break out of resistance and back test it as support, once you see that bounce, this gives you a local trade setup where this would give us an entry point with a good risk to reward ratio. And in my opinion, we're definitely going to break out of here, right? So that would be the next place, honestly, but we could look for that next sign of strength to hop in on XR Pizzle, baby. But right now, it looks strong. Looks like we're about to blast through. And if we take our measured move here, and we just look at this for a second, right? We take our trend line from the low to the high, and we extend up. You know, our next target is $4, just based on this triangle. Now, if we do it like this, if we look at this as a giant bull pennant, now we're talking about a 550 XRP. Right, that would be our target from the bull flag, the measured move, $5.50 XRP. Okay, so again, this is not even financial advice at all, but understanding that once we break above $2.60, we do technically have a good risk to reward. Now, it's 3 times more upside than downside at that point, which means you're risking $100 to make $300. You're risking $1,000 to make $3,000. You're risking $10K to make $30K. You're risking $1 to make $3, right? But, like I said, I do not buy anything in a bull run. I just don't. I know a lot of people do. I know a lot of people enter into low leverage, long positions. Like, we're in a bull run. Let me just 3x buy here. You do what you want to do. For me personally, it's weird. I'm a super degen leverage trader. I trade like 25, 30x leverage all the time and don't think anything of it. In fact, I don't even think it's that risky. But then when it comes to my long-term trades, I'm very conservative. Like, I'm a super degen leverage trader. I'm a super conservative spot trader. Like, super conservative. It's weird. I guess maybe I'm just a complex guy. All right? It's funny. Maybe, you know what it is, I think? I get all my degenatomy with the leverage trading, and then I can sit there and be super responsible with my spot trading. I think it creates a bit of a balance here, right? But yeah, I don't buy anything in the bull market. I wait until like Bitcoin's like weekly bearish market structure before I even start. And really, we want to wait 400 days or so, another few hundred days after that all-time high before I start buying, right? But I'm not going to say this is a bad setup. I just one that I'm not interested in, right? Because I think XRP looks extremely bullish. We're seeing bullish signs across all these time frames: the monthly, the weekly, the 2-week. When we look at the daily, what do we see? Look at this. We are seeing our money flow getting higher. Our momentum is getting higher. I mean, honestly, it looks really bullish. And again, remember, we're analyzing these altcoins through the lens of the entirety of the crypto market. So I'm much more bullish now than I was yesterday because Bitcoin has broken out of that range. All right, because Bitcoin has broken out of this range here, this last high, I'm much more bullish today than I was yesterday because until this breakout had happened, in my mind, Bitcoin is still bound within this area, right? And historically speaking, throughout the summers, that's exactly what Bitcoin does. She's bound in an area, and she goes from the high to the low, from the high to the low, and we don't break out until the fall, right? Same in 2024 that happened, in 2023 that happened, right? This is the historic summer predicament. Even in 2022 that happened here, basically, right? The summer of 2022. July, August, September, right? We're stuck in the sideways range, okay? And it's not until the fall where we have the breakdown in the bear market. But the fact that we've broken out now makes me say, okay, Bitcoin's broken out. The altcoins are looking very bullish. I mean, like I said, I'm not trying to be sensational. This is either the most obvious pump that we're about to have in the world on these altcoins, like super obvious. Or I'm just being duped. But I'll tell you this, all right? I do trust Market Cipher. I trust Market Cipher, especially on the high time frames. Like I said, this indicator has the ability to predict the future. All right, some of my most legendary trades in the world have been based on Market Cipher high time frame signals. All right, I publicly entered into a $500,000 long trade, posted about it on YouTube the moment I took the trade. All right, just like I was historically bullish when we came up to this area in April. All right, with that really bullish signal on the weekly. You know, we got this bullish signal on the weekly back here, and I'm like, this is it, guys. This is it, right? Go back to, I forget when, and I'm not going to look for the video because it'll be hard to find. But the title is, I just entered a $500,000 Bitcoin long trade. It was based on the Market Cipher high time frame stuff. So I've come to trust this indicator. You know, haters going to hate about the indicator, but it's legit, all right? It's legit, I'm telling you. And right now, these high time frames are telling us more upside. Es posible. Es posible. Let's take a look at Chainlink real quick. Now, Chainlink's one of these assets where I think we have a really good, and this is what we were talking about yesterday. We've already come up a bit since yesterday. But even though we come up a bit since yesterday, I think Chainlink is one of those assets where this, honestly, this is something I even would buy this. I'm not going to, but even I would, because it's just such a good risk to reward ratio. When you look at the fact that since 2023, we've been trading in this sideways little range here, right? From the low to the high, to the low, to the high, to the low. What do you think is going to happen next? Right, to the high. But given the context of the market here, I say we're going to see Chainlink shoot for a new all-time high. All right? That's 5 times more reward than risk, even if you were to buy right now. And I'm not saying for anybody to buy anything. You got to do your own dang research. You know, that's what all crypto YouTubers say. Buy this coin right now. It can only go up. It can only go up. It's the best thing ever. You're all going to be rich. But do your own research. Because it's not financial advice. And I'm telling you to buy now. Click my link. Click my link. I have a secret deal with the coin. They're going to pay me, but do your own research. All right? I'm not telling you to buy, but buy it. Buy it right now. But I'm not telling you to buy it. Oh, man. Sorry, I got a little crazy there. But look. I love coffee. In all seriousness, this chart, it says a really bullish looking chart. We formed our bear market range. We get the breakout. We get the double back test. We're continuing to make bullish market structure. Low, high, higher, low, higher, high, higher, low. What do you think comes next? Oh, right, higher, high. And because we're in a bull market, do you think we can hit the all-time high? Yeah, absolutely. Do you think we could come higher than it? Yeah, absolutely. So let's say we come to a $70 Chainlink. We're talking a 300% gain. That is nothing in altcoin world from where we're at right now. And that is conservative. I mean, that's only 34% higher than our previous all-time high. So it's not like we have insane bullish targets that could never happen. This is a 7-to-1 risk reward, 7 times more reward than risk here, right? We're looking at all our time frames here. The monthly, it's a little ambiguous, but the weekly, we just got a money flow cross here. We are seeing momentum getting higher. We saw a beautiful bullish divergence at the low, and then we're into bullish market structure here. It looks pretty good. Again, given the context of everything that we've just gone over, this looks really good to me. Another one that I am a big holder of, because I am a big holder of Chainlink, by the way. I am emotionally invested into Chainlink. I hold quite a bit of Chainlink. Another one that looks really good right now is going to be AVAX. Right? Look at AVAX. Look at this. Look at this, guys. I mean, could you ask for a better chart than this? This is, in my opinion, AVAX is like the opportunity we had on ETH back in April. when ETH came down to bear market targets, because we have AVAX coming down to literally bear market prices while Bitcoin is pumping, making new all-time highs. We are seeing multiple drive of bullish divergence on our weekly time frame here. And even if AVAX doesn't break out at all, even if we just come back to our high, that's still more upside potential than downside, and that's assuming AVAX comes all the way down to $1, okay? If AVAX goes down to $1, all right, it's still more upside than downside. Double upside than downside. And we're not even looking for any major breakout. We're just looking to come back up to this area. If AVAX hits the all-time high, this is 8 times more reward than risk, 8 times more upside than downside, even if we assume that this green line here is where we come down to. We're talking about $1.60, right? $1.60. We're giving ourselves a lot of playroom here. Really, I'd say we're looking more like this, because the chances that we take out the 2023 low, in my opinion, are extremely low, but it's possible. Anything's possible. But now we're looking at a 12-to-1 risk reward. If we're looking at this local low that we made in April, now we're looking at a 21 times more upside than downside. And if we come just to the top of the range, it's 6 times more upside than downside. AVAX, to me, this is the kind of charts that you want to be interested in right now, because if you're looking to make money in the end of the bull run, like all the charts that we've looked at so far, we see good technical reasons why we should be interested in more upside. Solana, Chainlink, XRP, Ethereum is getting to the point where it's not as worth it as some of these others. But you know, it looks good. And I do also hold a lot of AVAX. I also want to take a look at SUI. Because there's SUI, in my opinion, still looking pretty good. I mean, honestly, it looks really good. These are 2 ideas that I've had on SUI. The first idea is this. Where's my like, I don't know how to use TradingView anymore, you know? I literally don't know how to use TradingView anymore, guys. This is another reason why this ain't no financial advice. But, yeah, the first idea for SUI is that we are forming a very bullish trigger wave with bullish money flow on the weekly as we're bouncing from the zone in between the golden pocket and the 786. All right, so we're seeing a really nice bounce. So far, it looks really good, and we would expect a breakout from this triangle, and our target being between 750 and 850. The second opportunity, in my opinion, was if we get another rejection from the trend line and then come back to the bottom of the triangle. That would be the next place I would look to get in on SUI. This one's a little bit more speculative, but given the bullishness of the market and given the bullishness of the weekly time frame and given the bullishness of the daily time frame, we had a really nice bullish divergence here, really nice continuation trigger wave here with continued upside on the money flow. You know, that golden pocket might be our level. Now, let's take a look at risk reward here. It's still 3.5 times more upside than downside if we're going for our target at $8, and that's based on the bull flag target, taking it from our low in August 2024 to our high in January 2025. We've had this consolidation, and really the probabilities are upside breakout, right? So even right now, SUI 3 times more upside than downside for an $8.50 target. Of course, when we actually were talking about this originally, it was 7 times more upside than. So isn't it amazing? Just one day of pumping can take you from 7 times more upside than downside risk. One day of pumping, now it's down to just 3.5 times more upside than downside. This is why entry is so important. This is why it's so important to have a plan when it comes to your trading. This is why it's so important not to chase price, but let the trades come to you. This is why in the Casper crew, we plan for our trades in advance at jasoncaspertrading.com. Click the link to join the community. We plan in advance. That way we're ready for the key level, and we have that good risk to reward ratio, right? Then we take the trade, and then we get those good entries, right? All these long trades that we've been taking, we plan for them, we get those good entries. Is this not a good entry, guys? Is that not a good entry? All right, is this not a good entry? Look at that. Oh my goodness. Would you look at these entries, man? It's because we're planning for them. And so, look, you wait a day or two, and what was a really good trade entry is now not the best. And so this is something you really need to weigh if you're looking into like investing and trading. You know, a lot of people come into these markets and they say, can I make money quick on this? And the answer, of course, is always yes. But if you want to actually be in these markets with longevity and not like make a whole bunch of money and then like lose it all, you need to come here with a strategy, and you need to come into every investment with a plan and a reason and a target and a stop loss, right? It's like if you don't have a plan, you are planning to lose. Man, that hits hard right now. All right, we've all been there, right? Guys, I highly recommend that you check out my trading course, because even if you're just looking to get in on spot, all right? Even if you're just looking to get in on spot, go to the Jason Casper YouTube channel. Go to videos, all right? I have 18 videos here walking you through my trading strategy for free. And yeah, it's a day trading course, all right? It's a day trading course. But I will say that you can apply these principles to everything, because it's the same exact thing. It's just on different time frames, right? So check it out, guys. It's completely free. Also, if you want to trade on WEEX, we have literally the best deal right now. They're giving you $100 just to sign up. You don't even have to deposit. 0% limit order, 0.02% take order. You could scalp low time frames, market in, market out, still be profitable. 20% deposit bonus. That's pretty crazy. All right. Also, we got to shout out BLOFIN. BLOFIN. And if everyone's wondering about my short trade, it got stopped out for a $2,800 profit. Okay, a $2,800 profit. Okay, so yes, I was short yesterday. This is another funny thing about people. They don't understand about partials and stop losses. You can make money shorting even if the price is bullish if you know what you're doing, all right? That's stuff we go over in the free course. But BLOFIN right now is offering, what are they offering? What are they offering? They're offering 20% cash back, discounted fees, link in the description. BLOFIN, a great platform to trade on. They're also now offering coin margined futures. So instead of just trading to make USDT, you can now trade to make Bitcoin. If Bitcoin starts dumping, you can short Bitcoin to make Bitcoin. Bitcoin could dump and you could be making more Bitcoin now on BLOFIN. Also, guys, we got to shout out Klein funding. All right, know how to trade but have no money? 25% discount on these funded accounts. Link in the description. 25% off $70. I don't even really know what that is. I don't know what 25 is. Was it like 15 bucks or something? Something around there. I don't know. No, 15 times 4 is 60, so maybe 17 bucks or something. 18 bucks, 17.50, I don't know. You could get like, let's just say for like 59 bucks or whatever. You can pay 59 bucks and end up with a $6,000 funded account using the discount code in the description. They also have their Instant Pro accounts where you don't have to pass a test in order to trade. So usually you have to pass a test. This is a crypto prop firm that runs on Bybit, okay? No consistency rules, no challenge needed. You can get an instant funded account, 50 grand account, 70% profit split for 1,200 bucks, but there's a 15% discount in the description of this live stream, all right? So check it out. We also have to shout out ANTARCTIC Exchange. ANTARCTIC Exchange, guys. This is a decentralized exchange that's going to change everything, because not only is it decentralized, but it's made by traders for traders. So if you're trading on the exchange, you're a partial owner of the exchange. We all share in the fees. We all share in the liquidations. There's no market makers. There's just a peer-to-peer liquidity pool, which will be fully live on July 15th. So in 4 days, this exchange is going to be upgraded big time. You'll be able to enter $10 million positions. Instead of right now, I think you can only enter like up to a $1 million position. But also, the cool thing about this exchange is we're working on some big things. You're actually going to be able to trade S&P 500, gold, stocks, Forex, indices, using your USDT as margin on a decentralized exchange. So if you're like me, and you used to trade on BingX, you used to trade the S&P 500 on BingX, you used to trade gold on BingX, using your Tether as margin, that's what we're going to do here, all right? So you're going to be trading the S&P 500. You don't need a broker. You don't need a bank. You just need Antarctic and some crypto, man. So check it out. Link in the description. Also, the fees right now are the lowest, period. All right, Jason Casper exclusively has 0% limit order, 0.015% market order. This is lower than any. You cannot get this elsewhere. It's exclusive to me. All right, exclusive to Jason Casparoni and Queso. Casparoni y Queso. So New York is going to open in about 20 minutes. And we got to shout out our super chats. We have a lot of super chats in the house. Shout out to Parit Sharma. Shout out to Silosis. What do I think ETH will top out around? I'm looking between 5.5 and 8.5. I know a lot of people are looking at the 10K psychological on ETH. I'm not saying we can't hit it, but I am saying that I like to expect lower and be happy for higher. Shout out to Ham Danito. Could you kindly have a look at WLD? Yes. All right. Shout out to CryptoFace with the super chat. He says, I love you, man. Nothing like market Cipher in the bull run. That's true, CryptoFace. Nothing, I don't even know if you're still here. Probably not, but nothing like drinking coffee from your market Cipher mug in a bull run. That's my last sip right there. Also, CryptoFace, I don't know if you know this, bro. Your new mug. Look at the poor pencil neck turkey got a little washed off there in the dishwasher, man. So, hand wash only, guys, with the new mugs. The new mugs are way better than the old mugs, by the way. I've had this one since 2022. I just loaded up on these new ones. They're bigger. They're better. They're heavier. And the coffee just tastes better, all right? Shout out to Silosis Cardano. Yeah, we'll look at Cardano. XRP and Cardano. Shout out to Kuhal Kumar. Brother, look at SUI in the daily. Shout out to King SOK. Thanks so much for the super chat. We did look at SUI. We're going to look at Cardano and WLD. Cardano and WLD, baby. Shout out to all our super chats. God bless you guys. Shout out to CryptoFace and all our other super chatters in the house. And guys, if you're not subscribed to CryptoFace, I don't know what you're doing, all right? Go check out CryptoFace. All right. Do I really think there will be a recession? I don't know. Did I say I thought there would be a recession? Are you talking about a bear market? Do I think there will be a bear market? Yeah, of course. Of course, the market cycles are a thing. All right? Market cycles are a thing. Always. Are we going to have another 70% drop? I like to think yes. All right, but a lot of people out there saying no. Man, who knows? I don't know. I'm going to be right now timing my buying based on the 4-year cycle still, okay? And one of these times, it's not going to work probably, but I'm just going to keep doing what I do until it doesn't work, right? Let's see here. This is WLD. And how do I feel about it? Well, let's go to the weekly. So here's the reality of the situation. We're just going to look at this chart objectively, okay? We had our low, and we took the liquidity below the low. All right, we had the low, and we took the liquidity below the low. Since doing so, we've come back up into the area, back test, and now we're getting a reclaim with the weekly printing a green dot. Daily market Cipher B has bullish divergence, all right, at that low. Now we're seeing continued money flow and bullish trigger waves as we come to back test the key Fibonacci zone between the golden pocket and the 786. All right. Things are looking like we actually have a bullish setup right here on our hands, like literally right now. There's two places to put your stop for an aggressive trader. What the heck? Oh my goodness. Look at this stop loss. For an aggressive trader, you'd put it below the local low that we just made at the 786. All right, so for an aggressive trader, you'd be doing something like this. Let's go zoom out a little bit here. An aggressive trader, you'd be doing something like this. And again, we're assuming the breakout of this trend line, right? We're assuming that this is breaking out of that we had a fake out to the downside of the falling wedge, which means we target the top of the wedge. 33 times more reward than risk. A more conservative trader would put their stop under the low, still 20 times more reward than either way, given the context of the market. And I don't know anything about WLD, by the way. I don't hold it. I don't plan to hold it. I don't care at all about it. I don't know what it is. This could be like a rug pull, right? This could literally be Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, and every other political mouthpiece that people love to hate on came together and designed a coin just to rug pull everybody. This could be that, and I would have no idea. All right, this could double, triple the supply of coin every day, and I wouldn't know. Right, the supply could be doubling every hour, and I don't know. I don't know what wild is. All right, but based on the chart, and if you believe in this thing, based on the fundamentals and the project and all that, the chart looks good. And based on the fact that, in my opinion, we're heading into the last phase of the bull run, where we're going to see parabolic gains on a lot of things, I'd say that this is a valid, good trade setup. We're buying support with a sign of strength. What is the sign of strength? The sign of strength is we lost it, we reclaimed it, we made a higher low, and we got that bullish back test with bullish confirmations on our oscillator. It looks like we're going to break out, okay? So WLD looking kind of nice. Let's take a look at Cardano. Cardano. This is my plan for Cardan, all right? Man, if you guys were here yesterday, look, you missed out already. Just kidding, you didn't miss out, but this is my plan for Cardan. All right? I hold a lot of Cardan. All right? Shout out to Charles Hopkinson. I'm sorry. I literally thought he was 50. I found out he was 37. I'm sorry, bro. I didn't mean to miss age. I didn't mean to assume the age, but like I said, Charles, man, if you're watching, all right? Hit me up, bro. I'll give you a special diet and training plan. We'll get you jacked, stacked, and succulent, all right? We'll take you from this to this, all right? In just 30 days. 30 days on my special plan, all right? So hit me up. I only take Cardano. On my personal training clients, I only let them pay me in Cardano. All right? Now look, this thing, in my opinion, is, and this is a conservative target, $5 is a conservative target because it's only 60% higher than our previous all-time high. But what we have here is a bottom. I know it's a little bit of a sloppy chart, but bear with me, all right? Bull with me here. We have a bottom with bullish divergences, all right? Money flow and momentum getting higher at our bottom in 2023. Our juicy, uneven butt cheek pattern on market Cipher B. We got our big, fat, juicy left cheek, our skinny right cheek, like that waitress at the diner coming out with your coffee. You know, she's smoking a cigarette inside like it's still 1985. She got a raspy voice and Brooklyn accent. Hey, Dolores, get over here, because Jason needs another cup of coffee. Right, look what happens. Uneven butt cheeks over here. That's where the price gets to bounce. So we got the bounce. Then what do? We get a higher high. We break bearish market structure. Then we make a higher low. Then we make another higher high. Continuing with the bull trend. This is a bull trend. This is an uptrend. Now we're forming a bullish falling wedge in this cup and handle pattern as we're back testing key Fibonacci support. All right. All things point to more upside. We look at our weekly time frame. What are we seeing here? Hidden bullish divergence. It's looking pretty good. Cardano is definitely a sleeping giant, guys. It's definitely a sleeping giant. Don't sleep on Cardano, in my opinion. Not financial advice, but when you're in a bull market and you have an asset like Cardano, which objectively speaking is a good crypto asset. All right, it's a good crypto asset. All right, it's a great blockchain. All right, it's in bullish market structure, but it hasn't really seen a big pump yet. Again, these are the times where you have an opportunity to buy low. I mean, you're literally, Bitcoin's at new all-time highs. Cardano is down 77% from its all-time high. All right, isn't that crazy? It's down 77% from its all-time high. We have an opportunity right now as we're heading into the last few months of the bull run, to buy a good asset. This isn't some random stupid rug pull. This is Cardano. We have an opportunity to buy it at 77% discount right now. And I'd say a conservative target at $5. That's giving us 20 times more upside than downside, right? You risk $1 to make 20. You risk 100 to make 2,000. You know what I'm saying? So it's in my opinion, looks really good here. Now, could we consolidate more? Yeah, we could. And honestly, here's something that I do just want to point out. We have liquidity building up below these wicks here, okay? And we have a zone. Here, let's go ahead and put all this stuff in a chart here. I just want to point out something, okay? As a trader, like as a hodler, I look at this chart and I say it's very bullish. As a trader, or as somebody who like looks for day trades every day, I can't help but notice that we have ourselves a liquidity right here where we have a triple bottom, which a lot of people say, ooh, that's super bullish triple bottom. Yeah, but what we also have is stop losses below this, and this is prime for a stop hunt. When you have a triple bottom where you have a low, and then we never visit it again, we have a higher low, never visit again, we have a higher low. People are putting in their longs here, and there's all these stop losses below, which means you come down, get a stop hunt, and then bounce. Now, not only that, but we have a giant volume gap or an imbalance or whatever you call it, whatever you want to call it. We also have an imbalance right here, right? I don't know, whatever ICT, fair value gap, I don't know. I'm not hip with all the cool language, okay? But this is our weekly time frame. You can see this giant weekly imbalance here, this fair value gap or whatever, this volume gap. There's no support here until we come down to 41 cents. All right, so as a trader, I would keep this level on my radar because I would definitely be super interested in a buy or even a long. Let's see what else we got here. Trying to force some confluence, right? Yeah, I don't really have any confluence to force there, but it looks really nice. Let's see. Ooh, it's our 786. Yeah, look at that. It's our 786 Fibonacci right there. From the low to our current high. That. And it wouldn't invalidate our wedge, right? That's another thing. It wouldn't even invalidate our wedge. It wouldn't invalidate our cup and handle plan. It's just a really good entry, right? So when I see stuff like this, I think to myself, are we guaranteed to come down there? Of course not. But if we do, make sure you set a dang alert on Cardano, right? We'll set our alert on Cardano. What are we going to call the alert? FOMO, long, 500x leverage, full portfolio. Right now, don't even check the chart. All right. Now, if you get woken up in the middle of the night with that kind of notification, it's a one-way ticket to Liquidation City, right? But seriously, I'd be planning for this. All right, that looks pretty good. Does that not look really good, guys? I mean, come on. Does that not look good? That looks good. That looks real good, man. That looks real good. All right, we got another super chat in the house. A few more. Shout out to Siraj. What's up, Siraj? Siraj says, can you look at Ondo? Yeah, we could look at Ondo. We could look at Ondo. Ondo, Fernando. Ondo Fernando, baby. Alright, I don't even know why I have these lines on the chart. All right, I'd say we have a really nice support resistance flip. We have a really nice low, a really nice break. Market Cipher B. Anything good here? I mean, some slight bull div. Look, I'll be honest with you about Ondo. We have ourselves, I would say, a sideways range. Our high, our low. We're at our midpoint right now. It's never a good place to be getting in on a midpoint. Do I think more upside is possible? Yeah. Do I see major bullish signals at the low? No, not really. Do I think we're heading into a phase where we're going to see a lot of altcoins pump? Yeah. So is it likely that it pumps if everything else pumps? Yeah. But I'll be honest, I don't see anything about this chart that really makes me say, oh man, let me buy Ondo right here. The only thing you could say is that we're breaking out of this support resistance flip. But the problem then becomes, you know, what's your plan on this trade? Because honestly, if we're going to enter here, we'd have to put our stop loss at least under these lows, which gives us a 1-to-1 risk reward. There's just as much upside as there is downside. And that's assuming we don't, this is assuming that we're not going to take out these lows. Technically speaking, there's less upside than downside. If we're looking at this as our sideways range, okay? If you want to get real aggressive with it, and you think this is the final breakout, then you could kind of force a trade here. And if you think we're really going to break out of this, and we're going to see like a, let's just say like a 1-to-1, right? Let's see. I mean, we can't even really measure a 1-to-1 here. We can't even really measure a 1-to-1. We don't even have enough data to measure a 1-to-1 on Binance. So yeah, I mean, look, if you're taking a risk based on fundamentals, like make sure you have some kind of target here. You know, if you really think Ondo's gonna rip and you think we're gonna come up like hundreds of %, then by all means, go for it. But we don't really have the chart data. I mean, if this is one of those altcoins that's gonna pump 1,000%, you know, then you could look at it that way and say, wow, I risk $1 to make $100. I risk 1,000 to make 100,000. That's a good deal. And we're putting our stop loss below this last little swing low here. But if we're just going to go based on the chart only, we don't necessarily have a good setup here. But of course, when assets are new and they're in price discovery, you know, maybe you want to take a risk on it, right? Maybe you want to say, look, I have this $1,000. I'm going to take a chance on Ondo. I'm shooting for 1,000% gains, baby. You know, it's up to you. That's a 10x, right? I'm shooting for a 10x on Ondo. Either I lose 1,000. I mean 100x. My bad. I'm going for 100x. Either I lose 1,000 or I make 100,000, right? Shout out to my man Hamdanito. He says Filecoin. Sure, we'll take a look at Filecoin. Alright, I don't know why this is like this here, but in general, I have to say, personally, I do hold Filecoin. I do hold Filecoin. And also, I have to say, we are at support. There's way more upside than downside potential here. I mean, this is one of those coins where, although I don't know too much about it, even though I have it, I would say, okay, Filecoin. There's bullish divergences on the weekly. We're at support. We're beat down. I don't think this is going to come down much lower, okay? We're at the floor. This is it. This is the bottom, okay? If we hit all-time high, it's an 8,000% gain, 172 times upside to downside. You put $1 in here, you can potentially make $172. All right? You put 1,000 here, $172,000, right? I mean, and that's even giving us some playroom to come down to $1.60. You know, if we put it under the actual current low, you know, you're talking like put 1,000 to make 200K, right? So it's a good risk to reward, just in general. All right, just in general, it's a good risk to reward. So what do I think about it? I hold it, and I'm hoping for a big pump. That's all I can say, man. That's all I can really say. You know, that's all I can really say. I hold it, and I hope for a big pump. I bought a big position of it back in December of 2023 as we broke out of this trend line. So my position is in the red, okay? I was buying this, introvert head and shoulder. We got the breakout, we got the retest. This was my buy. I did it live on stream. When I put tens of thousands of dollars into altcoins live, baby, I was expecting the breakout from there. Didn't happen. We made another low. We made a lower high. We made a lower low. Still hodling it, okay? So I think there's good upside here. Now, personally, I don't know anything about altcoins in general. I don't really know what Filecoin is. I don't. I'm a chart trader. My primary way of making money in crypto is leverage trading Bitcoin and top 10 market cap altcoins. And when it comes to buying altcoins on spot, a lot of times I go with the mentality of, well, this is just objectively speaking a good risk to reward. So if I throw a couple grand in here and it goes to zero, big deal, I lost a couple grand. But if it pumps thousands of %, awesome, right? I mean, to me, I'm doing it. My mentality going into that is like, okay, if I lose 2 grand, if I lose 3 grand, if I lose 4 grand, so what? I'll make that back in one trade, right? I'll make that double that in one trade. I'll make triple that in one trade. But if it pumps 8,000%, at the time I bought it wasn't an 8,000% pump. It was a 4,000% pump, right? Then I'm making some good money on that, right? I'm making some good money on that. All right, Hyper. Shout out to Klaus and shout out to Jelini for your guys' super chats. I appreciate you guys and God bless you all. But unfortunately, I have to head out because it is 9:30 my time and I have a lot of things to do today. So please make sure to like, subscribe, click the bell. We will be back next week. Congratulations to everybody who has been hodling these assets, Bitcoin specifically and Atlantically, these all-time highs. May God bless everyone in Jesus' name. I pray the Lord bless you and protect you and shine light upon you and have grace upon you. And may the Lord turn his face towards you and give you wholeness in Jesus' name. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.